right. Good day. Welcome to the Daily Money Markets, and you are actually with me, Che Yusuf. It's actually another episode in terms of how the market is looking for this week, and as well as the stories that are actually shaking the market, right? So before we go further, we're gonna go back and see what's happening last week. There've been a lot of stories that come up actually pushes the market, and we saw lots of crazy turn down of the market. So we're gonna look also into actual market itself, because when we say we saw a lot of turn down of actual movement of the market, everyone has to be able to see that. So the first one on the last week, just to recap, there was a US July average hour earnings in terms of NFP. It was on Friday. That was the biggest one. The reason why it's the biggest one, it's actually the data that the Federal Reserve was waiting, to have that data so that they can make a decision in terms of cutting the interest rate. Of course, the interest rate is actually the talk of the town for past 3 weeks, or for past a month, or for past the whole year. This year, past 4 or 5 months, everyone has been speaking about when the interest rate is going to be cut. There's a couple of videos that already been uploaded. We talk about this interest rate. We talk about European Central Bank increasing the interest rate. Last week we talked about Bank of England again cutting the interest rate to 25 basis points. So US, they were waiting the non-farm payroll data to see what happened. So the non-farm payroll data comes actually hotter than expected. US unemployment rate 4.3% estimated, it was 4.1%. So the US July average hour earnings, the earnings that you can earn hourly when you are working, rises to 0.2%. Month to month estimated was 0.3. So the hourly earnings didn't meet the estimation, but the overall of NFP actually, the rate actually surpassed the estimation. US July non-farm payroll rises to 140k month to month, estimated 175. So again, that was the miss there in terms of NFP overall numbers. And again, we talk about last week in terms of the soft landing. So when it comes about the soft landing, we're waiting for this data to give us, stability that we're going to have a soft landing. Then the Federal Reserve, President Powell can make a decision in terms of cutting the interest rate. That didn't happen because the numbers of NFP comes way negative without surpassing the estimation numbers. So from there, that's where we saw the market route depends. The market route deepens. So we saw red from different types of market. We saw dipping of the market from the position where they were to way lower, over losing over 5%, some losing over 10% in terms of the market share in the market share price. And that was actually, the horrible part about last week, Friday, end of last week market calendar, coming to this week. Stocks 600 was down over 4% into two neutral days. 4%, it's a lot when it comes to stock exchange in terms of the price rate. The tech stocks again drop in a global route. So they were calling it the global route because of how the market has just taking the market back. Nasdaq will actually push it back to where it was, I think 2008 or 2018 or something like that. We saw also the companies, their stock prices dropping, like companies like Nvidia. We've been talking about on a tech section. We talk about Nvidia, we talk about Microsoft, we talk about Apple, but we saw all these companies dropping. Nvidia was dropped at 8.87% drop. Microsoft stock was dropping 3.79. Apple stocks dropped 7.49%. And the crazy part is that all these stocks, they're actually under big stocks, like big indices like Nasdaq and the US 30 S&P 500. So the drop we saw there, it was really crazy. The NFP shake the markets. So again, there was a little bit of article that says a weak July employment rate report does not says anything about recession make the financial markets react on Friday as thought it does like that. So the market analysts again continue believing that it was not a recession, it was just a rebound of the market, to actually come back. And but the way it drops, it actually gives a lot of people that this is actually, the recession that is actually happening. But some economists, analysts, they said no, we're not yet in a recession. We want to see the rebound. That was the story of, Friday, end of the market barrel of the United States. Again, from those stories, what else happened? We talk about Apple and Microsoft dropping in terms of stock exchange. We saw again, Elon Musk speaking again on the weekend, about the election of the United States. Again, all the way to weekend, we saw again, saying that who's gonna be, the vice president of Kamala Harris, when Kamala Harris is actually, starting the campaign. So they were expecting this week to have the vice president, and we're gonna go into that to see what exactly, it's gonna happen. But regarding the market watch of the week, there's a couple of things that I actually. Oh, before I go to market watch of the week, so last week or so we saw a Bank of Japan actually, cutting, no, increasing the interest rate. So the past videos we talk about how people they are moving from China, saving their money, taking a trip, going to Japan to actually buy stuff because the stuff there it's actually lower because of they did cut the interest rate. Come this month of interest rate, the Japan actually, increases the interest rate of 25 basis points. So it's vice versa. They cut with the 25 basis points, but now they increase with the 25 basis points. But again, things might be still cheaper because Japan has been cutting the interest rate for a very long time. So all the time when people they're suffering, COVID-19, people that are increasing, interest rate, Japan was actually cutting the interest rate. They cut for over 1,000 interest rates. So they're not even yet there to recover for what they've been cutting, even if they start increasing with the 25 basis points. So that was in terms of Japanese yen and how Bank of Japan actually, reacted this week for their Federal Reserve report. Okay, so moving this week for Market Watch, we are seeing again there's a Brazil central bank having a meeting, Euro areas retail sales, there's a Uber earnings coming up this week as well. There's a couple of things that are actually, pushing this week. The other interesting story beginning of this week that we saw rising from the weekend all the way to this week, it's Google search engine. It's a story of a Google search engine. So the Google search engine have been founded guilty in a court. The judges rules Google a monopolize of the search engine. So what they do, they monopolize the search engine for the sake of that they can actually, capitalize of the on their advertisement products. So we saw Google, the court judges about monopoly of the Google search engine. That is why when you search something on a Google and you try to scroll on your socials, you always see something similar to what you tried to search. That's some type of monopolizing of the Google search engine. Again, it's one of the tech companies that are listed under Nasdaq. We saw Nasdaq actually having a little bit of effects again. But coming up from this week, from Monday, we saw the recovery of the trades. The trades starting actually recovering. Nasdaq where it was. Nasdaq it actually pushed it all the way to 17,500, and it actually started recovering all the way right now. Let's see where it's sitting. So Nasdaq was actually at 19,000 before it pushes from 20,000 19,935, it drops to 19,580, and then it keeps pushing all the way back to 17,265. Then the recovery started, and it's still sitting at 18,400. At 18,400. That's about Nasdaq. All right. In terms of this week again, we are seeing a couple of stories. Kamala Harris is gonna announce the vice president. In fact, when I'm releasing this video, the vice president already has been released. It's Mr. Tim Walz. Mr. Tim Walz used to be a baseball coach, in a one-off school. They used to work there, and he's becoming now the defensive of Harris campaign. So that is happening also this week. Disney, they're dropping their earnings. What also? WBD, they're dropping their earnings as well on Wednesday. On Thursday, we are seeing jobless claim. On Friday, we are seeing Fed's backing speaking. So that's what we are actually seeing in terms of this week for the news that is going to push the market this week. All right, just to share how the market is actually looking, we talked about Nasdaq, NAS 100. This is, one of the instruments that has all these, the tech companies. Look at the way when we put a Nasdaq on, maybe let's put it on a daily time frame. Nasdaq is coming from 20,600, but again, you can come back to 4-hour time frame. Coming from 20,688, it drops to 19,580. It pushes all the way down to 17,025. Okay, so if we go on a weekly, okay, so if you see on a weekly, the last time Nasdaq get to 17,265, it was around September 2021. So all the way it deepens, right, from the August 2022. From the 4th of December 2022, it starts shooting all the way up. It never get to this level since maybe the worst case scenario we can say 16 July 2023, somewhere around, but it was not even there 16 July, but pretty much it's 2021 where it deepened to this price of Nasdaq. So even if you can look at US 30, look at a US 30 on a bigger time frame, of course didn't have that much drop like Nasdaq, but look at it where it was around for the 1,183 at this price, pushes the price all the way to 38,000, below 38,500, somewhere around 37,000. And then this is the great recovery that we're talking about, that the market has been actually starting recovery. So clearly there's also an opportunity there that you can capitalize regarding the recovery of this instrument. But again, if you are day trader, look at this. So the market right now currently is actually trading on a sideways, pushing the price up, down, pushing the price up, down, forming the double top, triple top, if you can say. It'll push the price down again, goes up. So you can play around at this until you have clearly a better risky parameters, and then once it actually breaks, goes all the way up, then you can see that the great recovery has been actually continuing. Bitcoin did the same thing again. We talked about crypto. We actually thought crypto is gonna go to 65,000, 68,000. Of course it did get to, I was expecting to get to 71,000. It was actually almost getting to 71,000. We can see it did get to, okay, so it did get to 72,007, right, which was 24 June, and we did expect Bitcoin to push the price there, but because of the great roads that happened and numbers not even reaching the estimation in terms of NFP, that's where we see the drop all the way to 56,000, going up, and then this is the drop that we're talking about. Look at how it pushes this, pushes Bitcoin to 48,900. 48,900. Now the great recovery has starting. It's recovering, but again, it's still far to where at least it was at 62,000, where the investors they get feel a little bit of comfortable of the price of gold, right? All right. So these are a few instruments. We can see even Euro USD again pushes the price up. It started with a great recovery yesterday. In fact, no. Instead of it push Euro USD because of the base currency was Euro, this is the spike that actually pushes the price up. Now, once it started going down, that means the dollar is now starting getting momentum. That will be the great recovery of stocks. So yeah, we're gonna see how the market is gonna turn out this week, but pretty much that's how the market is looking at the moment in terms of how the market get affected from NFP last Friday. All right. So in terms of high impact volatility from the calendar, from the economic calendar, Monday obviously there's a lot of there's actually bank holidays from Australian dollar. We're seeing also from Canada a bank holiday, and SMI service PMI was the highest impact volatility there. Going on Tuesday, cash rate from Australian dollar, monetary policy statement from Australian dollar as well. Moving on Wednesday, there was employment. There are employment change rates coming on Wednesday. High impact volatility there from New Zealand dollar. Not much on Wednesday as well. We're gonna see 10-year bond auction from 7 p.m. from United States. That would be most interesting. IVPMI from Canada. That would be another interesting. Crude oil inventories. That would be another interesting according to the geopolitics that is happening in the Middle East to see how are they going to maintain and control the price of crude oil so that it shouldn't spike the oil that we use. Going on a Thursday, August the 8th, there's RBA governor speaking from Australia. High impact there from Australian dollar. Moving on Thursday again, 5 a.m. inflation expectations. Again, we are seeing a lot of movement from New Zealand dollar. That will be Thursday. What else we are seeing from US on Thursday is the 30-year bond auction. That will be 7 p.m. as well from US. Again, high impact movement. Maybe the recovery that we've been talking about is going to continue from Wednesday to Thursday. Jumping on Friday, we are seeing CPI from China, Consumer Price Index. At the same time, we are seeing also producer price index from China. So we're gonna see if that data is gonna determine if the Federal Reserve of China or Bank of China is gonna decide to actually start cutting the interest rate. Friday, the last one, 2:30 p.m. There's Canadian dollar. Canadian dollar is having employment change and unemployment change that determines how many people they're actually unemployed and how many people they are employed in Canada. So again, that will also drive a little bit of movement in terms of Canadian dollar there. So actually, I think that's it in terms of how the market is looking this week. And again, the recap of last week. I think the big news of this week is gonna be Kamala Harris vice president team, and that will be making a lot of news, a lot of headlines, and a lot of shaking of the market. Of course, people are already, the economists have been thinking that, okay, are we gonna get back to the Trump trading? We're gonna see how Donald Trump and Vice President of Trump, Vince, is gonna reply on this. So thank you very much for tuning, for watching the video. Subscribe at least so that the subscription can grow, can look like we are doing something. And my name is Che Yusuf. Thank you.